Hello, this is Socrates Son. Today I'm responding to Lily J. Lily J, who is Lily J? You might ask. Lily J is a truth seeker, but occasionally she also likes the money Muslims donate to her under every video.
Wow, did you guys just hear what ChatGBT said?
The method, Lily J doesn't know anything, in fact, about Islam. So she's she just came to the scene. But the method she's using to prove Islam is asking superficial questions to ChatGPT and ChatGPT responding the first Muslim response. Then she makes this expression, and therefore she proved that. If it's not proven, how else she will be shocked? How else? It's impossible. So this is how she do it. This is how we do it. So last week, so now Lily J has a new series of videos that she posts every week. She calls it Debunk Weekly with Lily J, episode 2. Sorry guys, I'm cold. So now we are at episode 2, where she will expose more lies. In episode 1, she said she exposed the truth that the hijab is not compulsory in Islam. Of course, that made angry some Muslims on X.
So now she's like pushing this kind of liberal line, this kind of secular, it's a secular line, this idea that Islam is all about choice. If you follow the provisions of Islam, it's only by your choice, but you can't force that.
But she exposed the lies. Okay, now let's go to her second episode. Now, sorry, I see the episode and I'm shocked. So now she will expose the lies that Islam is violent. And in fact, she will make a comparison. Islam or Christianity more violent? Okay, let's go.
Wow, did you guys just hear what ChatGPT said? Like, that is the total opposite of what the media said.
Debunk Weekly with Lily J.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Hey guys, so my messages this last week have been absolutely flooded with videos that you guys have sent me that you want me to watch and discuss. So I'm super excited to get into this today. Let's see what we've got. Okay, so this next video is from Raman Matthews. Let's give it a watch.
If a Christian opens fire on a bunch of innocent civilians, it's pretty easy to see the daylight between that and what not only Jesus preached, but how Jesus lived.
Yeah.
For example, let me give you, and I've talked about this quite a bit. If someone commits murder, right, mass murder, and they say, I'm doing it because I'm a white Christian fundamentalist, which almost pretty much never happens.
Hang on a minute. Let me just stop it right there. Hey, ChatGPT, I've just got a quick question. What was the worst religious hate mass gun shootings in the last decade?
The deadliest religious hate mass shooting in the last decade was the Christchurch mosque shootings in New Zealand on March 15th, 2019. A Christian gunman killed 51 people and injured many others during Friday prayer at 2 mosques.
Wow.
So I asked ChatGPT, was Christchurch a Christian-motivated terrorist attack?
No. The Christchurch mosque attacks were not a Christian-motivated terrorist attack. The shooter, Brenton Tarrant, was a white supremacist and far-right extremist, but he did not carry out the attack in the name of Christianity.
Then I ask ChatGPT, Brendan Tarrant, in his manifesto, did he made reference an Islamic terror attack with a deaf little girl? And what was that story about?
Yes, Brenton Tarrant referenced the death of a young girl in his manifesto as part of his supposed motivation for the Christchurch mosque attacks. He specifically mentioned an incident involving Ebba Akerlund, an 11-year-old Swedish girl who was killed in a 2017 Islamic terrorist attack in Stockholm, Sweden. What happened to Ebba Akerlund? On April 7, 2017, Rakhmat Akilov, an Uzbek national with ties to ISIS, carried out a truck attack in Stockholm, Sweden. He stole a truck and drove it into a crowded shopping area, killing 5 people, including Ebba Akerlund. She was walking home from school when the attack happened. Her death became symbolic in far-right circles, with white nationalist groups using her as an example of the dangers of Islamic immigration.
So, listen to these people now. Not only the Christchurch attack was not inspired by Christianity, but instead it was inspired by Islam. How about that? In the manifesto of the killer, he said that I was inspired when I read in the newspaper of this deaf Swedish little girl, that she was deaf and she couldn't hear the truck coming. And because she was deaf, the ISIS animal ran her over. And that, the killer himself in his manifesto says, that was what inspired me to make this attack. So, Lily, now hear my words. Not only Christchurch was not inspired by Christianity, it was inspired by Islam. Okay, Islam and white supremacy nationalism. Okay, but it goes even worse than that for you. So I ask the same question as you. What is the worst religious motivated terrorist attack the last 10 years? It says that Christchurch. But then I notice it listed also Sri Lanka Eastern bombings 2019. That 269 people. In Nigeria, Islamist extremist groups have been responsible for numerous attacks on Christian communities. Between 2009 and 2023, over 50,000 Christians were killed. And approximately 18,000 churches were destroyed in Niger alone. Globally, the frequency of religious-motivated mass shootings has increased. Okay. Islamist terrorist attacks from 1979 till 2021, at least 48,035 Islamist terrorist attacks occurred worldwide. So, Lily, now listen again to my words. The Christchurch attack is not even close of being the worst. We saw in Sri Lanka 50,000. No, this was in Niger. 50,000 people in Niger alone. In Sri Lanka was how many? Forgot, it was like, I forgot the amount now. So, 265 people in a church in Sri Lanka. Okay, so the Christchurch attack, who was Islamic motivated, and still it was not even close of being the worst one, let alone being many. It was the single one related to Christianity. And I will go further than this. Lily, I will say not a single terrorist attack was because of Christianity, in the name of Christianity. Christians, yes. Christians doing terrorist attacks are few. None of it was in the name of Christianity.
Okay, let's just narrow it down a little bit more because this guy in the video is American. So let's have a little look in his backyard, shall we? In America, in the last 5 years, how many mass shootings have there been?
According to Gun Violence Archives, there have been over 2,500 mass shootings in the United States in the past 5 years.
Wow, that is a lot. How many of these have been Muslim?
Based on available data, Muslim shooters have been responsible for fewer than 1% of these incidents.
Wow. What about Christians? How many have been Christian?
Roughly, it's estimated that around 60 to 70% of mass shooters in the US over the past 5 years have been Christian.
My young lady, the problem is the way you are framing the questions. Let me make an analogy to understand what is the problem with your argument. The way you framed this question is the equivalent of saying an ISIS fighter thrown a gay person out of a building. After reading this hadith, this is ChatGPT in case you are wondering. After reading this hadith, whoever you find doing the act of the people of Lot, kill the one who does it and the one it is done to. Throw them from the highest place and then stone them. So when the ISIS throw random gay people from buildings and other radicals stone them, so that is obviously connected with this hadith. In your analysis, this is one person killed by a Muslim. So, Lily, this is one person killed by a Muslim in your analysis. Okay. So, let's go to the other scenario.
No, this is not. No, John. How long? This is the first time. On our sides. How long?
A year, John.
In your analysis, Lily, if this Christian kills now his wife, that is one person killed by a Christian. Therefore, 1 equals 1. Isn't that right? What's the problem with that? Your scope is very wide. You don't give the context. In one case, it was because of Islam. In the other case, had nothing to do with Christianity.
That is a big number. I was not expecting that. But I just want to make a point. Like, I'm not trying to say that Christianity promotes violence and promotes terrorism. Like, that's not it at all. We all know Christianity is a religion of peace. Why can't the same view be applied to Islam as well?
Because of this. Listen to my question to ChatGPT. How many major Islamic scholars or schools of thought or major classical Islamic scholars believed offensive jihad or offensive warfare to spread Islam is not prescribed in Islam? That is my question.
The dominant position among the four major Sunni schools of thought, Hanafi, Maliki, Shafi'i, and Hanbali, as well as many classical scholars, was that offensive jihad. Jihad al-Talib was a legitimate tool for expanding Islamic governance under certain conditions, usually led by a legitimate ruler.
Did Islam spread by the sword? Yes, but also no. Islam spread across the globe through many means, including trade, diplomacy, proselytization, and yes, military conquest, or what's known as jihad at-talab, or offensive jihad.
So I ask the same question. Is there any Christian major school of thought that prescribes offensive warfare as a legitimate means to spread Christianity?
No major Christian school of thought, whether Catholic, Orthodox, or Protestant, prescribes offensive warfare as a legitimate means to spread Christianity as a doctrinal requirement.
Unlike Christianity, which is a religion in the classical sense, focuses on the personal relationship with God and the kingdom in heaven and how to build characters, Islam is a political ideology, just like communism and Nazism, that seeks political domination in this world of his favorite tribe, the Arabs, against all other peoples. In Christianity, God is a father figure to all humans. He especially, loves the unbelievers, who he considers his lost flock, as depicted in the parable of the prodigal son. In Islam, Allah is a tribal warlord that commands his slaves, the Muslims, to attack his enemies, the unbelievers, with the purpose of subjugating the world under his political rule, not unlike Stalin and Hitler. The Arab warlord Allah commands his slaves to subjugate humanity either with peaceful means, dawah, which is essentially war propaganda, because in dawah in Islam you don't have to be honest. You can lie to proselytize people, and that is what they are doing. Okay, in dawah they lie and deceive. It's not a coincidence. At this point, it's 100% accuracy. What's the right word? I mean, if you analyze all the dawah, it's like 100% lies, like we saw with Lily now. Okay, so Islam commands to spread Islam, to subjugate the world under Islam, either with peaceful means, propaganda, dawah in other words, either with military means. In Islam, the end justifies the means. So Allah doesn't care how you spread Islam. Either you spread Islam with peaceful ways, either you kill 1,000 people to spread Islam. Allah doesn't care. Okay, the morality in Islam is deontological. It's not virtue. It's not focused on virtue or consequentialism. So suffering and well-being in this world is irrelevant for Allah's morality. That's why we see this type of violence related to Islam.
Islam is a religion of peace too, we all know that. So yeah, that's all I'm trying to say. Let's keep watching.
But if they do it, you go, okay, hold on a second. Did Jesus preach that? No. Okay. Did Jesus kill anybody? No. Did he mass murder anybody? No. Did he call for the death of No. All right.
Hang on a second. Did Jesus ever call for the death of anybody?
Yes. In Luke 19:27, Jesus says, "But those enemies of mine who did not want me to be king over them, bring them here and kill them in front of me."
Lily J, either consciously or unconsciously parroting populist Islamist propaganda, lies and deception, uses the verse Luke 19:27 out of context to deceive people that Jesus was a violent man. The verse Luke 19:27 is referring to the judgment day, where in the second coming of Jesus will judge the world, not unlike in Islam, where also in the second coming Jesus judges the world. So I asked ChatGPT, people who use the verse Luke 19:27 to present Jesus as a violent man, Are they being fair to the context?
No. Using Luke 19, verse 27 to portray Jesus as a violent man is not fair to the context. Here's why. Context of Luke 19, verse 27. This verse is part of the parable of the 10 minas. In this story, Jesus tells a parable about a nobleman who goes away to receive a kingdom. Before leaving, he entrusts his servants with money to invest. Some are faithful and rewarded, while others are not. However, there is also a group of people who reject the nobleman's rule. When he returns as king, he orders that those who oppose him be put to death. Key considerations. Jesus is telling a parable, not giving a command. The parable reflects judgment at the end of time, that Jesus' actual teachings and actions emphasize love and nonviolence.
Now, remember how fast was for Lily to accuse Jesus of being a violent man. Now, let's see how fast she was to accuse Mohammad of being a violent man.
This video did really make me think. Is Mohammad actually a violent person? I need to get to the bottom of this. Let's ask ChatGBT. Hey ChatGBT, I have a question. So today we're going to discuss a little bit about Prophet Muhammad. So I want you to reference the Quran and the Hadiths. So the first question is, did Prophet Muhammad ever personally kill anyone?
In the historical accounts, there's no clear evidence that Prophet Muhammad personally killed anyone.
Okay, see this, Lily, now, and be ready to be shocked and amazed. To do, okay, be ready now. Okay, so I ask ChatGPT. ChatGPT, according to Hadith, did Muhammad ordered assassinations? Let's see what it says. Yes. Yes. And he gives 1, 5. What? It gives 5, 5 ordered assassinations. Okay. 7. Oh, it goes even worse than that. 8. Conclusion. Then I say, are there any more? Yes. 9. 10. 11. 12. 13. 14. And he gives a conclusion, summary and conclusion. So, Lily, let me get that straight. Jesus Christ, the love your neighbor, the turn the other cheek guy, because he will judge humanity in the second coming, you declare him the Green River serial killer, essentially. Bring everybody in my feet and slay them. Although it was a parable. Look now, okay. So Jesus Christ was just saying a story. So this story was a parable. In other words, a story. And it was referring to the second coming. And you declared him the, the Green River serial killer. The Unabomber. Unabomber, what was the other guy? What was it? Manson. I don't know the names of the serial killers. Mohammed, who, if you see the Lily, I was pretending I didn't know. The list is much more than 13. I could continue writing. Give me more, and it would have continued. The list is half a minute long of the assassinations ordered by Mohammed. Now, what if I type on ChatGPT, did Mohammed ever torture anyone? What do you think it might say? No, because otherwise how Lily will say. So that is outrageous. That is outrageous intellectual dishonesty. First of all, the naiveness, arrogance, and point-blank stupidity to go in front of a camera, fix your hair, be cautious or pay attention to your expression, that you're a beautiful woman. The TikTok stuff. Take a good camera, put a nice dress, and you didn't even bother. Because everything I say it needs to be visual also. You take your phone. I'm old school. I don't even have a mobile phone. That's true, guys. So you take your phone. Okay, now I will make a video that I will inform about serious matters, thousands of people. Okay, what should I do to make this video? The most important stuff. Let's fix my hair. Let's buy a new camera. What else? What kind of expressions I will make to be nice in TikTok? Okay. Do I need anything else? No. Do I need to read anything? No. The only thing I do is, okay, now that I did the important stuff, let's do the irrelevant stuff. ChatGPT, blah, blah, blah. And you don't even bother to make a follow-up question about a subject that you're informing thousands of people. Really. So that is the sign of our times, guys. The TikTok meritocracy. Okay, populism over merit.
Wow. Was Jesus ever violent?
It could be said that Jesus displayed violence when he drove out merchants from the temple, overturning tables and using a whip, as described in John 2:15.
Does the Bible say it's okay to kill? Are there any verses in the Bible about killing and violence?
Yes, the Bible contains verses that permit or command killing in certain contexts. For example, Exodus 21:17 states, anyone who curses their father or mother is to be put to death. And 1 Samuel 15:3 commands, now go and attack the Amalekites and totally destroy all that belongs to them. Do not spare them. Put to death men and women, children and infants, cattle and sheep, camels and donkeys.
How can I explain this? Now it will take long. But anyway, it is worth it. The Bible is an apocalyptic book. The Bible is brilliant, unlike the Quran, who is random verses put randomly, without context, random commands. Okay. Unlike the Quran, who is a stupid book, oral performances put together, words put together randomly. Okay. The Bible, unlike the Quran, has deep context. So, because the authors of the Bible understood that people need a story in order to be able to comprehend meaning, instead of, like the Quran, making statements. So, we humans understand things by computing and the knowing sentiment. In other words, if you compute something, but there isn't the emotional the emotional base to support what you are computing, you don't know it. That's why we understand better things when we see a movie. At the end, we understand the meaning. Now, if I am in front of you and I tell you the end of the movie, the good guy wins and the bad guy loses, you won't understand the meaning. In that sense, Jesus understood the power of parables, okay, and stories. So these are stories describing the primordial human state in an apocalyptic text. Apocalypsis is a Greek word, it means revealing. So in a revealing text, it starts with the primordial human state in order to conclude to the coming of Jesus and make the antithesis. Okay, if from the beginning everybody was everything was perfect, people love everybody, what's the meaning of Jesus coming? It wouldn't make any difference. So the Bible brilliantly make the antithesis of the primordial human state to the coming of Jesus, who anticipates from the first verse. The Bible anticipates Jesus. Mohammad is another story. Let's say the Bible is Lord of the Rings. Mohammad is the young magician. What's his name? Harry Potter. Another story completely. But that's why I say Islam is not even Abrahamic. It's something, another story completely. But the Bible has continuing storytelling. It begins with a primordial human state. It is description, not prescriptions. Can you understand the difference of a description and a prescription? Just because the Bible describes what the Amalekites did 3,000 years ago, that doesn't mean it commands Christians to do that. That is the difference of a description with a prescription. On the other hand, Islam prescribes violence. Lily. It's direct commands without context prescribing violence against unbelievers, against all kinds of people. Okay, and that is the difference.